World War
Right.
II. What's your opinion on that? I saw you were heavily criticized for saying the bad guys won World War II.
Well, that's a categorical fact. What's scary about it is we have a modern day American public that doesn't even realize, like if you go and ask the average person on the street, do you realize that the Allied forces were really an alliance with straight up communism? People don't even know that. We're not even talking about the fact that the Russian allies we fought with in World War II were a definitive communist nation.
Well,
I mean, how do we just skip that?
Well, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. I mean, they had, holocausted, genocided, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
20, 30 million Christians. And
yeah, amen,
and
sir.
nobody mentions
Yes, they
that.
did.
Nobody mentions that.
Never. They never mention it.
But why are those the guys that we decided to become allies with? I mean, to me, what he had done prior to World War II was worse than anything that happened in World War II. Whether you acknowledge the rhetoric or the programming or whatever you've been taught about World War II, let's say 6 million Jews died in World War II. That's still, what, a third, a fourth of what happened previously to Christians? Why does nobody give a shit about that? Why do we partner?
Well, it's obvious. I think it's obvious why nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, the Bolshevik Revolution was 80% Jewish.
Oh my God. I got this sent to me. And I just gotta have a rebuttal on this because it's just fucking nonsense. Please read a history book, fellas. Now let's go ahead and talk about this. What are his arguments? That a lot of people do not know that Russia was a communist country.
It's very sad.
What? This is not secret history, guys. This is not hidden history that you just uncovered and, oh shit, oh my God, did you know that there were communists? And if people on the street do not know that they're communists, then they're fucking idiots.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Everybody knew this. Stalin was a communist. And when you're talking about the Bolshevik Revolution, it was Lenin, and his successor was Stalin, yes. And Stalin took over after Lenin had passed away. Now, 80% of the Bolshevik Revolution were Jewish? What? Where did you get that number? Where are these statistics? I want to see. They estimate about 3 to 5% were Jewish. Yes, because Jewish were stateless people. They were everywhere. And you could do this in every country where there was any revolution. There was probably a Jew in there. As long as it fits your narrative that you'll fucking love to just point that out. A lot of them weren't even practicing Jews. They were just Jewish by ancestry. Now let's go ahead and go forward for the next thing. The bad guys won. So who were the good guys? Imperial Japan? Going to take over the Pacific? The fucking Nazis of Asia? I mean, these were the Asian supremacists. They thought they were the fucking supreme race of Asians. What are you talking about? Who else? Was Hitler the good guy? Was Hitler the good guy? What do you mean the bad guys won? What the fuck are you talking about? I really want to know. What were you talking about? Because this sounds like you take the little bus to school with a helmet. The bad guys did not win. The bad guys lost. Those were the Germans. Those were the Italians. Those were the Japanese. And everybody on that side of the aisle. Now, why did we join the Russians? Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And we're fighting a war. It was a world war, and we're fighting on multiple fronts. Multiple theaters were going on at one time. Hitler made a vital mistake when he invaded the USSR and Operation Barbarossa. So we got Stalin on our side. Now, what did we do with that, though? Did we just say, oh, we're all friends? One of the things that y'all get wrong all the time is you think allyship means like we're buddies, like we hang out and have barbecues together. No, that just means we support each other in a war. We were not best friends with them. And you know how we know that? After the fucking war, we went straight into the Cold War. We said, we're going to implement democracy. They said they're going to implement communism. And we all see the Eastern Bloc and all the satellite states, how shitty they were. So to say like we were on the same terms, no, we were not. And look at everywhere America took over. I'll give you 2 examples. West Germany. Look at East Germany. East Germany literally had to build a wall, not to keep people out, but to keep people in. That's how shitty it was in those fucking satellite states. It was a terrible place to be. All these human rights atrocities, all this fucking suffering that went on there. These people were trying to escape at all means necessary, and they could not, so they built a wall. And look at West Germany. They were free, and they prospered. Right when the wall came down, and then finally they joined as one. Germany is what it is today. And you can look at North Korea and South Korea, and it's still going on today. It's still a thing. They took over North Korea. We took over South Korea. Who's thriving? Who's thriving? Now, let's go back to what I was saying. Yes, the Soviet Union did most of the fighting against Germany. The Soviets suffered about 20 million deaths. Around 80% of German military casualties were on the Eastern Front. This meant Germany had fewer troops available to fight the U.S. and Britain on the Western Front. So that was a good thing. Yes, that was strategically responsible for the U.S. to join with the USSR, especially knowing when Hitler kind of backstabbed them and might as well take advantage of it. Why would you not? What did we do? Stalin really wanted the second front much earlier, but we said, nah, we're going to hold off because we're going to let you kill those people. It's like kind of Futurama. Have you ever seen Futurama? Like, hey, how did you kill the killbots? I just threw waves and waves of men at them until they had a kill limit. Once they reached the kill limit, they fucking died. And that's how I won the war. That's what Stalin did. And that's what Russians usually do. They just throw waves and waves of men at people. Now, what happened? He felt that the U.S. and Britain were letting the USSR bleed to weaken the German and the Soviets. I think that's a good thing. Yes, the USSR was terrible. Yes, Stalin's a tyrant, gulags, purges, everything else. Yes, these are all truths. You're not lying with those. Stalin was a terrible person. Now, what else happened? Now, it says many Russian historians argue the West let the Soviets do the dying. And yes, we did. A lot of Soviet casualties happened because we just didn't go in the Western Front. We delayed it over and over and let them fucking weaken themselves and let them weaken Germany so we could have an easier fight. Pretty fucking solid stuff for me. Not intentionally, but strategically, the U.S. definitely benefited from the Soviets grinding down the German army. Yes. Millions of Soviet casualties weakening Germany. Yes. Buying time for the U.S. to build up its military strength. Yes. All these things were very strategic and were very fucking useful for the U.S. This is why we sided with Russia. And again, if you didn't know Russia was a communist country, either you didn't pay attention in school or you're just a dumbass. I don't know what to tell you. Like they just uncovered something, they were fucking Nicolas Cage in that one movie where they're uncovering historical secrets. Oh, did you know that Stalin was a communist? Oh, no, they don't say. They don't say. We actually sided with them. And let's go ahead and talk about the next thing that you, allegation that you said. Just to cover it, yes, did kill a lot of Christians. Now, 70 to 90% of the USSR were Christian, Orthodox Christians. There was other religions there as well. There was Muslims, there was Buddhists, there was fucking Jewish people as well. Now, one thing about religious people is they put God on the top of the hierarchy there. That is a problem when it comes to communist states, because in a communist state, you got to give that power to the one at the top, the dictator, right? The one that consumed all the power, the fucking communist regime, the state. This is why I can't stand when you hear liberals and progressives talk about communism. In the same breath, they'll say, I don't trust the government. What the fuck do you think communism is? It's also, oh my God. Now let's go ahead and go forward. Why was the number of deaths disproportionately Christian? Because the fucking population was disproportionately Christian. Now, it wasn't like they were saying only Christians. They were killing anybody or putting them in gulags or putting them in death camps or starving them. There was a bunch of famine. You see that in Ukraine. You see that all over Russia. And they wanted to starve people to death sometimes so they could have these hardships and they could look at the state to save me, please, like the way that's why the big government loves it, because they are papa. They're papa. They're daddy, Government should not be daddy, and because of that, you are fully dependent on them, and that's what they wanted. They wanted the people to be fully dependent on the government. Now, that is why a lot of Christians died. Now, was it horrific? Yes. Was it a terrible situation? Of course. Did they attack Christians? Yes, but they also attacked people from other faiths, because one thing about people with faith, they're going to have God at the top, and that can't stand in a communist country. It's a conflict of interest, and they can't go together. It's not a good mix, because when you live in a communist country, your God is a man at the very top. But y'all seem like smart people. Y'all ain't dumb, because I've seen some of your stuff, and you are not dumb people. This just seems more like propaganda, or you just, I don't know, man. What is it? Is it that you're dumb, or was it propaganda? Because either way, it's bad. It's not a good thing. But you're better than this. Do better.